Welcome to another episode of Tom and Jandy Talk Hoops. No Tom today, so all you get is Jandy, and you don't get a video shot of us. Sorry, but we're looking forward to talking hoops anyway. Let's start off with who's been hot over the last couple of weeks. There's quite a list of them. Emma Yost out of Parkston went for 31 points, 16 rebounds versus T last week. Morgan Edelman had a 34-point game against Irene Wakanda and followed it up with another 23-point game. How about Cammie Wadsworth and the rest of the Hamlin Chargers? They've been on fire. She had 21 points against Redfield and then came back and had a couple other really nice games. Elena Beneke out of Castlewood continues to light it up. She went 12 of 14 from the field versus Wolsey Wessington for 29 points. Absolutely ridiculous. And then two more stunning games to follow that up within the last 7 days. But our game ball this week goes to Haley Timmer. A 29-point, 10-rebound game in their what could be considered their biggest game of the year against Winter last week. Went 11 of 18 from the field and then followed it up with another 21-point game Tuesday night against Rapid City Stevens, a double-A school, where they held them off and won and kept their undefeated record going. Haley Timmer, a huge part of St. Thomas More's success. Let's look on the boys' side now. Riker Erstad of Arlington has continued to have big games all season long against Great Plains Lutheran last week, 27-point, 10-rebound game. How about Grady Sherman? 36 points, 23 rebounds versus Freeman Academy Marion last week, and then hit the 1,000-point total for his career in a big game, 22-point, 15-rebound game against Parker on Tuesday night. That 23-rebound performance, by the way, against Freeman Academy Marion, that was a school record. Unbelievable day. Lincoln Keenholz of Pierre went for 26 against Huron. That's a big number for a double-A school. Jacob Dobney, 32 points against Dakota Valley, helping his team stay undefeated and stay number one. Another top 5 team that Vermilion has beaten now. 32-point game against Dakota Valley and had 17 against Lennox earlier in the week. He and his teammate Dylan Gestring have been outstanding, Gestring with a pair of 20-point games as well. But the game ball this week goes to Kaylin Gary, 33 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists last Thursday night, and then followed it up with a 29-point, 12-rebound, 6-assist game with 6 3-pointers against Castlewood on Monday. And in that game, he had a dunk to tie the school record for most points, and then hits a 3-pointer to set the school record. He's just a junior, folks. He's going to keep adding to that. That's going to be a big total. And he also had another 20-point game Tuesday night against Flanders. So congratulations to Kaylin Gary of DeSmet. All right, let's talk about this week's guest, Jamie Parish out of Sioux Falls, Washington, the girls' basketball coach. He's got a lot of talent on this team, and he says that's a good problem to have, but there are a lot of challenges ahead for this Sioux Falls, Washington team. Let's bring in Jamie Parish, this week's guest.
You know, every coach says they want to be playing their best ball by March, and it looks like you guys are definitely trending in that direction. Just talk about the arc of the season and your improvement throughout the season.
You know, we had pretty much, it was a turning point for us. During that, we had a short stretch where we played St. Thomas More and Harrisburg in about a 4-day time frame. And we were playing well previous to that. We liked the way that we were doing things, but it just didn't quite click yet. And rolling out of that, then we had an opportunity to go to O'Gorman, and we challenged our kids. I said, you know, for the last 2 years right now, we've beaten a lot of basketball teams. We've beaten teams that we felt like that we were equal to. And I said, but we hadn't really beaten a good basketball team. We hadn't beaten somebody who was really, that stood out as unique. And our kids showed up at O'Gorman on a Saturday. And that was a big step for us to realize, you know what, we can beat really good basketball teams. And, it just it energized us to play so well over there. And we've taken some lessons from the 2 losses and from some of those wins to just keep moving forward.
It's crazy. You guys, have just those 2 losses to really good teams. And, if the state tournament seeded out today, you'd have a 4-5 matchup. I mean, the depth at AA is it's going to make for one heck of a tournament this year.
Yeah, it really will. And the other thing is we're going to find out really quick where we fit in that scheme of things. As you mentioned, out of that top 8, in fact, I think if you go 9 deep, we're playing everybody except Harrisburg on that list. So, we still have the Rapid Cities are in the mix. We still have Aberdeen. We have Brandon. Like the only team that we will not see during this last 2.5 weeks of the season is Harrisburg. So we're going to find out, can we beat the best teams, and will that change our seed and move us up? Or are we going to, be a kind of middle of the road team? So it's, we're even going to set it up for our kids that last week. We have Mitchell, OG, Aberdeen, and we're going to kind of stage that as a state tournament. You're going to play a really good team on day 1. You're going to have short prep, and you got another team, and then short prep, and you got to play the third one. So, maybe to simulate that for our kids will be a benefit for us as well.
Time to talk about some of the big games coming up in girls basketball over the weekend. On Friday night, Rapid City Stevens travels to Sioux Falls to play Washington. Stevens coming off that loss on Tuesday night against St. Thomas More, but they played very well defensively, and they've got a lot of power. Jamie Parish says that's one of the few teams that can match up height and lengthwise with Washington. That should be a good one. Also Friday, we've got a lot of great games going on at the Corn Palace. One of those, Sioux Falls Christian taking on St. Thomas More. St. Thomas More has an unbelievably tough schedule. Just got done playing Winter, Rapid City Stevens. Now they get Sioux Falls Christian, and then on Saturday, they get West Central. A huge test in February as they get ready for a March run. Saturday also, be looking out for Mitchell, who has played very well. They're on a winning streak right now, taking on Harrisburg on the road. That would be a key game for both of those teams to come out with a victory. Let's look at some of the big games in boys basketball. Mitchell, they need to bounce back with a big win, and they have an opportunity to do that against one of the top teams in the state against Roosevelt. And then how about Howard and Del Rapids St. Mary, a big battle in the DVC Conference, one of the last DVC Conference games of the year. Howard number 2 right now, Del Rapids St. Mary with 3 losses on the year. A win here could cement them as a top 5 team. They've been on the border most of the year. This is going to be a really fun one on Thursday night. Saturday, the DWU Classic features a ton of good games, including White River at DeSmet. DeSmet with just the one loss on the year, and that came to Sioux Valley. White River, on the other hand, 4 losses on the year, but coming in hot. They've had a lot of great games recently, including a 32-point performance from their sophomore, Joe Seiler, who helped them beat Winter on Tuesday night. That was a huge win, and if you didn't see it, these last few buckets of the game were absolutely exciting. Winter takes the lead on a layup after a missed free throw, and then look at this, Joe Seiler to the corner. Scott puts it down for the victory. That game was back and forth all the way, and White River primed and ready for a huge game against DeSmet coming up on Saturday. Like I said, part of a bigger slate at the DWU Classic. Always do a great job of getting great matchups. All right, remember to send us your game ball nominations for next week. If you have any dunks, send those our way as well. Every month we put together the Thunder Report. Go out there and keep on balling.